Hey guys, we're still kind of watching this storm system. It's moving over Florida across Live Oaks now, and I've been trying to. Hey guys, still watching this system that's moving across Florida. As I posted a live video earlier on my Facebook, I just kind of put this group together so that we can get some weather updates. This storm system is now moving across Live Oaks, and I've been watching some other radars through the Weather Channel and iWeatherNet, trying to make sure I keep you guys updated on its path and where it's going. Right now, it's just a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado. There was one tornado warning behind this current one where we're at right now. It has been expired, and this one is extended for another 24 minutes for Central Columbia County, Northeastern Suwannee County, and Hamilton County. And that's what we're looking at right now. I've been looking at the velocity radar for this. It does look like it is maybe trying to weaken a little bit, which would be a good thing. But you know, with these two together, there is still a bit of rotation in this. You know, we're getting most of the RFD winds that are kind of whipping around here with the inflow, you know, that's coming around, and you can see this kind of dark haze that's around it, and it kind of animates all the stuff that it's kind of sucking into the inflow with the updraft and the RFD, you know, kind of coming around on this sort of borderline, this boundary line right here, kind of um, pushing against the updraft winds and everything in the inflow that's in here. So you're getting this rotation here, and then, you know, with reflectivity, you can kind of see the general location of where that rotation is located, and that's what we're kind of watching. And as it moves east across Florida, north of Live Oak, and right now, and I'm checking the iWeatherNet velocity radar, and it's pretty much telling me the same exact thing that we're seeing on this velocity radar here. It's just kind of a confirmation for me so that I know that I'm not getting any kind of malfunction or incorrect information from one radar or the other. So wind field, it looks like it's coming, it's directly, the RFD right now is over White Springs. So it's on the back half of the storm right now, White Springs, moving just north of Winfield is what we're looking at right now. That's where that rotation is currently at, is just now passing across the north end, just north of Winfield is where we're going to see that rotation moving at. And the storm is moving at approximately 30-35 miles an hour. So, you know, fast enough to where it's not anything humongously, you know what I mean, worried about, because, you know, the only thing that we're worried about is the heavy winds in there and the torrential rainfall. There is a bit of lightning with this storm that may be incorporated with it too. If we watch, if I play that back from the last 60 minutes, then we're looking at, you know, you can kind of see how that rotation is incorporated across this map here, where you're getting that rotation right there as it treks east across Florida over just north of Live Oak to pointed just north of Lake City right now. And it looks like the rotation is at this point is it might be weakening a little bit. We're not seeing as much of that pronounced inflow coming up from the south here. So I don't know, but I'm trying to like check on the iWeatherNet radar too, because um, because the thing is, the iWeatherNet velocity radar is showing me something different, where there's less of the red and more of the green, and on this one it's showing me more of the green, or less of the green and more of the red. But that, I'm using the Valdosta radar right now, so that might have something to do with it. Let me see. It's kind of, you know, tough because it's halfway in between Tallahassee and Jacksonville right here, but let me see if this one will give me something better. So yeah, it's kind of hazy at best right now, but you can see a little bit of that red in there where that those RFD winds are are going to be at, and then you can't really see the rest of it too well because of how far of a stretch it is from that Doppler, from that radar there. But you can definitely see the rotation here as it kind of moves away from, and that's half the battle too with this, is that it's moving away from the Valdosta radar as it goes east-southeast. So we're losing a little bit of imagery on this one, but the iWeatherNet one, it looks like is dead on. And that's the one that I'm kind of watching right now. That and the Weather Channel's radar, but I'm watching the velocity radar from iWeatherNet, and it's seeing still that rotation is pretty existent right there. Now moving across White Springs, just north of Winfield and 5 Points. 5 Points in Lake City, it looks like you guys are going to stay relatively south of it, out of the tornado warning itself. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have weather from it. You still can get some winds from it. Down here around Lake City and just north of Lake City, around 5 Points and Winfield, in these areas right here, you're still going to, possible to get some winds, some definitely heavy rainfall, torrential rainfall, definitely some lightning troubles here. So you might have some trees down, maybe a little bit of debris blowing around, some possible damage to homes and property. So definitely things to think about in this situation here. And as this radar kind of updates, we're still looking at the lightning possibilities in this. We're still seeing a lot of lightning as well, which can be a lot of frequent cloud to ground lightning. So take precautions with that. Definitely, if you're in this tornado warning zone around Winfield and even 5 Points, 5 Points, you're pretty close to the tornado warning. So it might be beneficial at least to be ready to go into your safe place or your shelter, just in case you have any kind of outlying heavy winds or damage or anything like that from the storm just being just north of you, as it now is pretty much directly right just north of Winfield, and that's kind of where we're looking at right now, as it is moving east. Still seeing that rotation in this radar though, and still seeing that there is a prominent signature of inflow winds right here, and the RFD kind of bouncing around it on the back side of it right here. So this tornado warning is still in effect for another 18 minutes. So Central Columbia County, northeastern Suwannee County, southeastern Hamilton County, all of you in these counties need to make sure that you are in your safe place, take shelter. Try to get to a safe location where you're not going to get affected so much by any damage of a possible tornado in this region. So that's what we're looking at. It does seem like now, let me check the, let me see here. So tornado warning affected, let me see here, 2:45. So they still have it open until 2:35. They haven't extended it yet or anything like that. It is still being called a let's see here, it will be near White Springs at about 2. Okay, so we already passed that, 2:20. So we're looking at Winfield. That's where I called out just a little bit ago that it was going to be at Winfield at about 2:20, which it is right now. They are still calling it a storm that is capable of producing a tornado. Moving east-southeast here, it looks like at this location at about 35 miles an hour. It is moving east. They're calling it east, which is probably pretty accurate. Directly over Winfield at this point right now, just a touch north of Winfield. Heading east towards what is now Sanderson. It's moving towards Sanderson right now, and McClenny. These are the areas that may next be affected by this storm as it moves eastward. Which it's which you can kind of see in this now. I think, yeah, no, okay. Still the same warning here, but you can see where this rotation is in context right here. So we're looking in this area here where there might be, you know, that rotating supercell that's moving through there. Or you're still getting still getting that rotation. So they're monitoring that rotation very heavily in case this does turn into a very, very, very serious, dangerous storm. So, you know, anywhere east of this line, just north of Lake City, um, you know, north of 5 Points and Lake City, going east of West Springs, or White Springs, excuse me, you all need to be in your tornado shelters or a safe shelter, a safe place to where you would be safe in case of a tornado dropping. Moving towards Sanderson at approximately 35 miles an hour, trekking east here. So, let's see. Yeah. So if we go to the high def radar, you can kind of see in relation. Let's see here. And you can see the kind of lightning and everything and the kind of rain that this is dragging with it. This is just a lot of heavy, heavy, heavy rain. Definitely a threat of some flooding problems. So you could have some flooding issues in here. It does. Yeah, it does seem like that is in there, but maybe this is getting close enough to where I can use this other radar from Jacksonville. It might not show us, yeah, it doesn't show us very well, but, you know, this is kind of the location that we're looking at is in this general area, but Valdosta is still the best radar for this situation, even though it's, you know, we're kind of losing a little bit of imagery, but because the other velocity radar from iWeatherNet is still showing me a little bit less of the red than the green. So, and that is out of the Valdosta, I'm sorry, the Moody Air Force Base in southern Georgia. That is the radar that I'm using through iWeatherNet. So if I plug into Jacksonville on this, we're still out of range a little bit for Jacksonville, but on iWeatherNet, you can kind of see it a little bit better than you can here in this radar. So, but we're still seeing that rotation in there. So the threat is still very much alive in this kind of in this area here. So we still got another 12 minutes on this tornado warning in this area, moving just north of Lake City, covering just north of Lake City to let me see here. It moved past Winfield, heading towards Sanderson. So Sanderson, and just north, just directly north of Sanderson, about, I want to say, let's see here, Sanderson's about right here, if we're looking. Sanderson's about this area, so right about here, you know what I mean, this kind of track is just kind of following down this line that would be kind of just north of Sanderson. So if you're in this area, I would say get prepared now just to make sure that you guys are in a safe place as this kind of treks east across here. As we are watching this situation, just trying to get the updates from the Weather Channel and the National Weather Service. So looking at iWeatherNet's velocity radar, still seeing the same thing where it's kind of meeting and touching in the middle there, indicating that rotation. Jacksonville's still a little bit of a stretch for this radar over here. So we're just kind of trying to watch this. It seems like this green here, it seems like it's kind of, you know, dissipating a little bit, but on the other velocity radar that I'm looking at through iWeatherNet, it's more than this. You know what I mean? It's still kind of, it seems like it's still swooping in here a little bit, but it might be weakening a little bit, which is a good sign. Let's just kind of, you know, we're kind of hoping that it weakens down a little bit and loses a little bit of its strength, losing a little bit of its steam. Let's see what kind of wind that we're getting here. Winds, let's turn those on and see what our wind shear is like here. Yeah, so you're getting those southwest winds that are kind of blowing into it here, and a little bit of mixture every, you know, here and there. But for the most part, this wind shear is coming up pretty significantly from the southwest, which is kind of, you know, fueling this sort of fire here. So that's just, you know, so we can keep track of the winds and what is going on. They have extended, so they're probably, okay, so they have extended a severe thunderstorm warning beyond this tornado warning now for this kind of boxed area right here. And that should pop up on this radar here momentarily for McClenny. So it looks like Sanderson, McClenny, all the way almost to Baldwin. Not quite to Baldwin, but almost to there. And then Jacksonville. So let's see here. About to, I want to say right here at the intersection of I-10 and 301 is where I think their severe thunderstorm warning is ending right here. And then beyond that, I don't know what they're going to do. So I guess I was kind of, you know, I was kind of noticing that rotation kind of dissipating a little bit. It was showing up on the radar here on iWeatherNet, but it didn't seem as pronounced. And now it seems like it's dissipating quite a bit. So it's kind of losing its strength a little bit. So they're probably going to expire the tornado warning here momentarily. We are in that tornado warning for another 8 minutes. So another 8 minutes. And then they're probably going to expire it and continue on with the severe thunderstorm warning that is heading over McClenny right here. That should pop up on this radar here. I have it on 2 other radars. And for some reason, this radar is the last one that it pops up on. So it's like, okay, why are you taking so long? The updates on this radar are horrible, but that's why I use it. There it is. All right, so now you can kind of see going over McClenny and just east of McClenny is where that severe thunderstorm warning is at. So we're looking at central Baker County, northeastern Columbia County, and south central Charlton County. All those areas are now in the severe thunderstorm warning for 37 remaining until 3:15 p.m. Headed towards Jacksonville is where that severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue with. We are still looking at possible 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's radar indicated, so there is still a possibility of wind damage and possibility of flooding damage with the heavy rains that are going to be coming through, as well as other stuff here. So just need to pay attention to the warnings. Everybody just pay attention to the warnings and make sure that you guys are staying safe and listening to the National Weather Service because they will. This storm has progressed twice today. It seems like where it just kind of it got bad, produced a tornado over Tallahassee. You know, did a little bit of damage there, and then it just kind of dissipated and ramped down for a little bit, and then it ramped up again, going past Madison around this area right here. It kind of ramped up again. We're seeing that rotation again, and then now the rotation's kind of dissipating. I don't know. It seems like the updrafts in this area right here if I turn these warnings off, you'd be able to see a little bit better. But it seems like the updrafts and and the inflow right here, it just seems like it doesn't have the kind of stability and organization that it needs in order to sustain itself and really ramp up in strength. But so and that's kind of a good thing because we want less tornadoes. We don't want people to get hurt. We don't want damage, right? So but even with this storm the way it has been, it still can cause a lot of damage and a lot of havoc. So we were watching this situation closely to try to get you guys updated, try to keep everybody safe, So there's still 5 minutes remaining. The previous thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorm warning, has been canceled as the storm moves east of that warning, and that's the situation here. Once this moves out of this for about another 5 minutes, it probably will. This storm will move out of that tornado warning zone, and the warning will probably be canceled and continued with the severe thunderstorm warning over McClenny and then heading towards Jacksonville. So we'll keep an eye on the storm from there, and if we have any other warnings come up, I will have to go live again and try to keep you guys updated on what we're seeing. What we're seeing here, but for right now it seems like that rotation is weakened quite a bit, so that's a good thing. Still a possibility of heavy winds though, so keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and I hope that everybody stays safe. Thank you for joining me.